We got up to like 100K a month, getting a 3-4x return on that. You find a hot offer, when it says hot, go ahead and run with it, or do you want to slow pace it?
It's crazy how many people that I know who made money with Airbnb. How Carlos scaled an Airbnb business with Jorge, and I believe they went all the way up to $1 million, and then even from there up to $10 million as well. So today I am with Carlos Aviles, and Carlos is someone that I've known for a very long time. Carlos, I'm excited to have you on the podcast. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Vishal. Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. All right. I was going to do a little introduction, but I changed my mind. How about you introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So my name is Carlos Aviles. Live here in Florida with my family. I originally actually met Vishal at Traffic and Funnels, working as a media buyer. Over the last 13 years, I've been in the online marketing world, with the last 8 focusing on direct response, specifically with Facebook ads and running ads to all sorts of funnels, challenges, webinars, low ticket offers, book funnels, you name it. I run ads to it and also create the funnels.
Awesome. Sounds great. We're going to talk about how Carlos scaled an Airbnb business with Jorge. And I believe they went all the way up to $1 million, and then even from there up to $10 million as well.
Yeah, that's correct. At one point where revenue was 350 to around 400K a month. So yeah.
Amazing. Sounds great. So I have the funnel. We're going to go through the funnel. We're going to talk about the ads. What are the things that he was doing? What are the things that they were doing? And why it worked so well. Now, a little bit about Carlos that he did not mention. He actually worked with Onyx Signal as well. He has worked with Mark Hill as well, who has also done millions of dollars in revenue. And of course, Jorge. And then he was in Traffic and Funnels. And Traffic and Funnels, we're doing millions of dollars a month actually.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about that real quick. So for Onyx Singal, literally got to give him props. He was one of the persons that gave me a chance. When I was working with him, I had barely ran any ads. I had just run ads to like an e-commerce shop selling sweaters and all this apparel. And when he took me on, he actually helped me understand the paid ads process. It was super scary sometimes walking into his office and not knowing the answer. And I felt like, man, I can get fired any moment. But I stuck through it. I went through the pain of learning. And so, I mean, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't really be where I am, because he believed in me, and that propelled me. After working with him, I started working with Marquel, which was my first client. And I helped him get a 2 Club Award too. So just a quick intro for, more context.
Amazing. That sounds fantastic. All right. So let's jump right into the funnel. I will just quickly go through the funnel. From what I believe, Carlos and Jorge, they were running ads to this funnel, VSL funnel, which is basically a video sales letter. They opt in. Once they opt in, they watch a video just like this, which is a video sales letter. And then they use apply to the real estate system, apply to the real system. And then they click apply. There's a whole bunch of testimonial. Once they apply, they can book a call. After they book a call, they land on this thank you page where there's a whole bunch of different testimonial, what to do, what to prepare. And on this call, what they just booked on this call is where they get sold into high ticket.
That's correct. So this was one of the main funnels. We also ran a webinar funnel as well, and we ran challenge funnels. So I don't want people to think it was just one funnel, because after they opt in, after they become part of our ecosystem, there's an email sequence in the back that's happening, and that also leads them to the different offers, right? One of the things with marketing is that people have different ways of consuming information. So with the call funnel is the fastest way to get someone on the phone, 10-minute video with a webinar over an hour long. You can spend more time with them with a challenge, so and so on, right? So we wanted to make sure we have different ways of giving the information for people to consume.
So I have this website from Carlos. This is Carlos' website, as you can see. This is Jorge right here, and he has a testimonial for Carlos. If you want to watch this testimonial, you can go to clientswithai.com and watch it. But just wanted to put it out there that Carlos really helped Jorge, and he has a testimonial here. And then we have Onyx Signal, and then Marquel, and then a whole bunch of other people that Carlos has helped. So just wanted to put it out there. I'm curious to know how all of this works. Now, we have all seen the VSL funnel. It kind of looks the same thing. It just looks like a normal VSL funnel, like you opt in, video sales letter, right? How is this different? I know you did challenge funnel as well. I know you had webinars as well, but why did this work so much better? What was so different about it?
Yeah, so this was after several hooks, even this new hook here. But the reason why it worked so well was because of the process that I have when launching ads. So I usually start with the end goal in mind. What kind of conversations do your salespeople want to have? And so in order to do that, we have to create the story that is going to be put into our marketing. So for example, everybody says start with what's in it for them. That VSL starts with what's in it for them. If they watch this video, they're going to be able to understand how to tap into the real estate business, specifically with Airbnb, and the 3 different vehicles available for them. Well, that's just one idea that starts. After they opt in, they have to go through a process of why Jorge? Why now? And then we got to break down beliefs. It's all about breaking down the beliefs. So the first thing that I introduce in the VSL is the actual problem that is keeping people from being successful with Airbnb. And a lot of that has to do with the mindset. And the best way to deliver on the mindset is by relating to people. So Jorge has a very, very relatable story where he actually quit as a dancer. And the reason he quit was because he was basically going to work. If he didn't work, money stopped coming. So he decided to change his mindset from an employee to an investor, kind of like the Robert Kiyosaki mindset, which is one of the mindsets he took on, and allow him to pivot and move into the Airbnb system. And so that by itself can show the people that, hey, you can do it too. I did it. I didn't have the best upbringing. I didn't have the best background. So he talks about his story, his background. But then we also separate ourselves from that, because you want to be an authority. So we show how he's an authority, leading them with the different strategies, the students he's helped, and overall just a lot of marketing concepts, which leads to the offer, which is his system. And then the system is going to be catered on the phone call based on, what they want to accomplish, Airbnb, co-hosting, or buying property. So that's the main reason why I work. If people are launching ads and they don't have a way to work backwards and think about the quality of the people they want to have, that's why people often miss having good marketing.
Interesting. What you said about the VSL, it kind of sounds like a 16-word sales letter framework. Do you know what that is?
Absolutely. It's kind of like that. Alberto's 16-word letter. Yeah.
Did you get it from there, or did you make it your own?
No, this is my own Evaldo's 16-word letter. So sales letter. It's a combination of studying different styles. And one of the things that I study was the hero's journey, where it's so many points on that, but I collapsed it into a few points. So it typically is like, what's in it for me? And then you talk about the problem. The problem leads to what's stopping them from succeeding. Then you want to talk about your authority. Why you? Then you want to lead it into a framework. What's your path that you're showing people? And then you give people a clear picture of the future, and also why a failure. If they don't take action, what would that look like? So you want to lead people into 2 roads. Which road are you going to take? Your entire marketing is going to lead to this point, and either they make a phone call, they book a phone call or purchase whatever you're selling, or they continue the day to day, but you want to show, okay, do you want to stay in the 9 to 5? This is what it looks like. And then people are like, okay, I got to make a decision. Which am I going to make? That? But by that point, you already connected with them emotionally. A lot of times they take the path of booking a call, and then you continue the conversation on the phone with your sales team being trained on how to close and leading people to the best decision possible. I don't believe in like hypey sales and all that. I'm more about qualifying people into your program. So if they have the right mindset, okay, perfect. I'll bring them on board. If they seem like they're going to be a person that is not going to be a fit for my community, I tell my clients to always reject people that are going to be a headache, and no matter if they can pay, because it's all about protecting that community you're building. It's not everyone you want to bring everyone. No, it doesn't work like that. You want to make sure that people are in your community are going to contribute, they're going to follow, and of course, there's going to be some people that I'm not going to do every task that's necessary, but you want to position yourself to succeed with the community that you're building.
Got it. That sounds fantastic. I want to dive deeper into with the end goal in mind. I mean, what does it mean to have end goal in mind? Like, the end goal is to get everyone into coaching program, right? Everyone pays me $10,000 coaching program. I'm happy. Like, what does it mean to have end goal in mind? Like, what is that?
Yeah. So for example, let's talk about Jorge's coaching program. One of the things that people need to understand by the time they they already booked the call, is that they need to develop this investor mentality. You're investing on yourself. You're investing on you. If I were to launch ads and be like, hey, learn my Airbnb coaching program, you're going to make a whole lot of money. Boom. Join my program, book a call. But at no point did I talk about what type of person I accept and what type of person I reject. So if you're having a problem closing on the phone, you got to really work backwards and understand, okay, well, if someone's coming in here thinking that they're going to join my program and they're just going to make a whole lot of money with not making a whole lot of effort with just one click or whatever, right? That type of mentality, they probably want to purchase from you, but do you really want them? Absolutely not. And then they're not going to be a good fit for your community, because then you're going to have hundreds of people joining with the same type of mentality that are just going to be like, hey, make me money. And it doesn't work like that. When in reality, you have to be an investor. You have to understand that you got to put in the work. And so the whole purpose of starting with the end goal in mind is so that the sales team can talk to a specific profile of a client. If you have way too many profiles you're targeting, then the conversations are going to be so different for them. And then they're going to get frustrated because they can't close on the phone. And so it's a win-win. The sales team gets to close with our ideal client, which keeps them motivated. It keeps them showing up for the next call. If one part of the puzzle is not working, you really got to step back and figure out, am I addressing the end goal in mind? So that's the mentality around that.
What year was that this offer ran?
I couldn't specifically tell you, but I think it was maybe like 6 years ago.
So
when we
2019?
started it. Yeah, when we started it, running it. So yeah.
So 2019, 2020, 2021, maybe. Okay. I'm thinking like Airbnb was hot back then. There were so many offers, right? Could it really be, because you had this end goal in mind and you had, I think the framing helped as well, but could it also be the market pull as well, right? Because everybody was talking about Airbnb, like every YouTube video was about Airbnb, right? Could it be because of that? Because now everybody talks about AI, right? And there's so many AI offers that are working. Could it have been the same effect that no matter whatever you have said on the VSL, it could have worked?
Absolutely. So part of the process of understanding marketing is to deliver the right message at the right time, so the right person can hear it and take action, right? So when I first started working with him, Airbnb was fairly new. People really didn't know about it. He was an early person talking about a completely open opportunity, which allowed him to take a big share of the market. One of the biggest things that we didn't do was put more money into the ad, because it was working so well. For the first year, I think we were spending like $3,000 a month, and we were like, oh, we're happy. We're making a whole lot of money. I'm like, cool. We're making a whole lot of money. Actually, I should have been the one, but like, hey, Jorge, like this is crushing it. Why are we scaling it? So in a way, we got content, and then we realized, yeah, like this offer is hot. Why aren't we doubling? So that's when we started expanding. We got up to like 100K a month on ads, and then getting a 3-4x return on that. So it was just like, okay, you find a hot offer, when it says hot, go ahead and run with it, or do you want to slow pace it? So first we slow paced it, then we accelerated that process until the whole market just crashed, right? Airbnb is not as relevant as it is. It's still profitable. People know about it now. So
it's crazy how many people that I know who made money with Airbnb. I just know a lot of people. There's this girl, I see her ads even these days. Her name is Inya or something. You can look it up, Inyah. Do you know her?
No, I don't.
She teaches Airbnb even these days. I have a good friend named Mike Gandia. He started his career teaching Airbnb, and now he does publishing as well. And it just works so well. That's good. Hey, I want to know about your pricing. What was the pricing of the program?
Yeah, so it started at 3K at first, then we moved it to 5K, then 7K. So yeah, it kept getting higher. And I mean, why did it keep getting higher? Because part of that is we needed to support a bigger team with more coaches. So the more also you charge, the higher quality people you bring, a lot more people take action. And it was, I believe it was 3-month coaching, and I think he expanded it to 6 months. afterwards. But yes, that was the overall structure, and it included an online community, included network of tapping into everybody that's part of the community, so that everybody could like maybe invest into each other's portfolios, mindset training. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that go into running a successful coaching program. And one of the things was he shows up actually to talk about mindset. That was one thing that I remember him doing all the time. You know, his students would teach the strategies, but he would teach the mindset, which I think is huge when it comes to running a successful coaching program.
Makes sense. Just want to make sure 3K, 5K, 7K, is it for the same program, or is it like there's like 3 different programs with 3 different tiers?
It was for all 3 programs, that's the pricing. But I think he started to isolate. If you just wanted one of the programs, you get one of the programs for a lower entry point. And the goal is to get people in and then have them take wins so that they can go into the higher tier programs, like the investing into real estate, right? That takes a lot different type of person than co-hosting. Co-hosting is one of the easiest entry points. You just go out there and build relationships with people that have a space. You rent it out for them on Airbnb and you get a profit of that's coming in. You manage it. And so it's a win-win for the person that needs someone to manage that and for you who is managing it. And then the other one would be Airbnb arbitrage, where you rent a property. Let's say you rent it for 2K and then Airbnb brings you 4K, 5K a month. So you make the difference. And so, you know, you start stacking those up. You're looking at an Airbnb that's profitable, especially when you follow his systems where he shows you exactly how to find winning properties, what to look for, how to set up your Airbnb, like things that are going to allow you to win.
Okay, that makes sense. For the 3K, what was in just the 3K? What was in just the 5K? What was different? What made them different? If you can give me a quick answer so I can write that down.
Oh, quick answer is just, this is a gradual change, right? So the program started to get better. We started to get more coaches, more training. That's kind of it. Like literally more coaching, more calls. The more access, the more they were paying for because they need more support. And then of course, the training is always staying up to date. That's the main thing. You know, like you have a coaching program, you have to be able to deliver on it. And if you're not evolving with the delivery, then your coaching program is probably going to be doomed. You're going to get more people coming in and your system isn't changing. You're not bringing in the people to support the people that are coming in. You know, it leads to a system that is going to eventually crash. So that was the main thing for the price change.
Like for 3K, okay, there's 1 call a week. So for 5K, there's like 2 call. And then for 7K, there's like a 5 call. Like, is that kind of the structure?
Yeah, exactly. It evolved as the company grew. And so, yeah.
Did you not have anything more than 7K?
Oh yeah, he had a ton of different offers, but I think he had a 20K done with you process. I mean, he had different masterminds. Like it's some of this stuff I didn't really get into because I'm like, all right, I just gotta stay on my lane, focus on getting the quality leads, and everything else he built in the back end, right? So building sales teams was huge for him too. Getting connected with the right people and building sales teams and having someone manage those things allows you to scale because ultimately, as the owner, you want to be like a orchestrator, making sure that everything stays on beat with the company all the way from the initial conversation, the ads, all the way to the end of the coaching program, everything in between. You got to make sure everything's flowing, checking on the sales team. Like that should be your main job once you get to this level of scale.
So your biggest job was to make sure the funnel is working, the leads are coming in, which means running ads, making sure you're testing different things on the funnel, if I get that right.
Exactly. So part of the process of running ads is having a direct conversation with the sales team. So I would get on calls and once a month talk to the sales team. Sometimes they would just give me feedback on a weekly basis as well. I would talk to them directly, like, hey guys, like tell me about the conversations you're having. What are some of the objections that you're hearing? What are some of the best conversations that you're having? So it's spectrum, right? Which one's the best? Which one's the worst? And then figure out, okay, the worst conversations that we're having, are we covering that within our ads? Or should we maybe try a different hook for the ads based on that conversation? It's not a static thing. Like it's always flowing, right? The market is always evolving. So should your marketing.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, talking to a sales team, listening to what customers are saying on the phone is very important, right? I mean, that's how you know what customers want. In terms of funnel itself, so you are not involved as much in the back end. Like, hey, if they pay 3K, can we take them to 7K? Can we take them to 20K? You're not involved with any of those.
I usually, when it comes to like increasing price, they're like, hey, Carlos, what do you think about increasing price? I'm like, I'm all for it. I'm always all for it. The more you charge, the better, because I believe it's like a filter, to be completely honest. Like, and people need to have a skin in the game. The more they pay, the more their skin is in there, the more they're going to pay attention, the more they take action. And then we can also spend more money on ads. We can create more impact. We can bring more students, more community. Like, just making more revenue solves a ton of problems. So
I mean, what about creating a low ticket offer, right? Yes, it's a low price, but that can work too. Like, why not a low ticket offer? Why didn't you try it? What's your thoughts behind that?
we actually did try low ticket offers, but it didn't work for his market. We tested a lot of different things, our calculators. We just couldn't find one, right? Or maybe we didn't spend a whole lot of time as much because we were so successful with the call funnel and the webinars. Those were the two successful ones. I mean, we had challenges too, but not as successful as the call funnel and the webinars. Low tickets do work, but not specifically for this account. We didn't really try it as much. But overall, I know the strategy is to liquidate your client acquisition, your paid traffic, so that you can be profitable. So I'm all for low ticket offer too, but I just feel like it has to be the right offer.
Got it. I don't have any ads with me because you guys are not running any ads right now. I guess Jorge is not running any ads. So let's just talk about the funnel. I mean, do you know what was the opt-in rate back in the days when you were running ads?
Yeah, I think it fluctuated. We had high, I think up to like 50, but usually hover around 30% conversion rate on cold traffic. One of the things that I learned actually from a mastermind that I attended in the Empire State Building was with Alex Becker. He did a presentation on simple headlines, and you're looking at one. This is how he was structured. Just simple text that you can read with a clear call to action button. Nothing fancy, and it works. And one of the reasons it works is you're letting the text do the heavy lifting for you. It's mobile optimized. So this is going to convert on mobile, which is exactly what, most of the traffic is going to come from. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the page is very simple. It talks about the presenter, Jorge, and then some logos, testimonial, like I have 3,000 students, right? Who is this for? Discover how to launch profitable Airbnbs with proven strategies with or without owning properties. So that's pretty enticing as well. I feel like it does all of the things. Did you test any other headlines?
Yeah, we tested a bunch of headlines. This is one of his new ones. I don't really think he's running ads to, but he's still booking calls. The biggest thing here is like, one, we call out who this is for. Ambitious individuals seeking to escape the 9-to-5. So that's a qualifier. We don't want to have a call with someone that it doesn't have revenue coming in. Ambitious, it's part of the mindset. For compliance purposes, we like to use discover and how. Those are really good ways to start headlines. And then the benefit that they want is profit, right? So profit Airbnbs, that's the vehicle. And people don't want to be led astray. They don't want to be lost. So we included proven strategies in there. And then there's objection handling already here on this headline. And the easiest way to do it is to say without, right? Or people have properties, so with or without, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the goal is financial independence. So which you can see how is in the trickle thing. It's like a waterfall. One of the things that Agora Financial talks about is like Agora, that mindset of having the flow from the top of the sales letter all the way to the bottom. And so that's kind of how this is structured. And then it leads to credibility, right? Credibility for all the different features he's had and articles he's been on. And then we also throw in there over 3,000 students. Why do you throw that? Well, because it's a thing that people want to do things that others are doing because they don't want to be a fool. They don't want to be like taken advantage of and going to a system that is completely new. It's an online marketing world. So there's fake people out there. There's cold markets out there. So we try to eliminate those objections from the get-go. And then it continues on the VSL where we build credibility, right? So all this is psychologically leading the person to want to book a call, which is the main thing.
Yeah, 30 to 50% is pretty good. How much were you spending per day on ads?
We started with $3,000 a month, and then we ended about $100K a month. Just divide that by 30. That's the scale process, right? When you find something. And then we actually ran one video for the longest because it was him at a property and there was a pool in the background. The hook was strong. And he talked about the mindset, which was investor mentality, right? So from the get-go, we're introducing that concept with a quick call to action for them to watch a short video. And this is the short video and this is the opt-in. When you find a video that showcases the lifestyle, being at a property. People like seeing that. And then I also had some captions at the top, kind of like a meme style caption at the top. And then people are like, oh man, like this is cool. You know, this is a cool video, cool offer. Let's go ahead and click on that. You start getting comments, you start getting a bunch of traction with organic. Then you start paying less, and paying less means more leads, means more phone calls, more people see your offer, more offers, more sales. So yeah.
So this is a video. Okay, they click on. It's a calendar page, simple calendar page. Can book a call. Okay. Anything else, and then they go to a thank you page, which is this. Did you guys test thank you page?
Yeah, this was an iteration. First, we only had the reason to attend. Then we started adding. So, for example, people didn't bring their partners on the call, so we addressed that. People ask about credit. How can they leverage credit? So we talk about those things. So a lot of these questions people are going to have during a call, right? Because people are going to be like, "What is my ROI? What is all this stuff?" So we just converted them into short videos that are going to handle that objection before they get to the phone call. All this is to improve the quality of the conversation. That's why it's there. And then we have testimonials. We have testimonials from different lifestyles, right? Nurses, guys that are truck drivers, or different backgrounds. And so why do we have that? Is because you want to see yourself in another person. People identify with other people that look like them. So we want to hit a different profiles with different testimonials from different people. And that allows them to overcome those objections of like, is this even real? So when a person that looks like you is telling you, hey, this is my experience working with Jorge and my success with him, they're more likely to book a call or show up for the call.
All of this sounds good. Is there anything you want to talk about, Carlos?
So I feel like the biggest thing when it comes to medium buying is that you have to understand that you're going through a process of data collection. And you have to take the emotion out of the hooks, the videos, your funnel. All those things are just hypothetical until you launch and until you start collecting real conversations, people coming through your funnel. Until you do, then everything else is just a lot of planning. You know, I see a ton of people, they're like, oh yeah, I'm launching this new funnel. Cool. They create it, build it. But I'm like, when did you launch it? Oh, I haven't launched it yet. I just created it. So don't live in this mentality that you just got to create the funnel. Actually launch it, collect data, be strategic. If you only have $1,000 for a test, perfect. Run the test. Or you only have $10 a day to run a test, run the test. If you're running ads, you're collecting data. If you're collecting data, then you're that much closer to getting that first sale that is going to allow you to invest back in your business and grow and create more impact. That's the mindset. Collect data, pivot with data, take the emotion out of it.
What's your favorite funnel right now? What do you think? What's the best?
I would say it depends on the person, to be honest.
Person or the product? Why would it depend on person?
Well, if you want someone to get on a challenge, you got to have a certain personality. You know, you got to be more on the promoter side. You got to be able to talk to people. You got to engage with people. Not to say that introverts can't succeed with a challenge, but it's a different type of conversation, you know, a different type of avatar you're going to pull. Because if someone's going to stand through a presentation that is not energetic and stuff like that, then maybe it's a different type of avatar. What I've seen is that those people that have the most success are able to play to their power. They're skilled speakers. They can bring energy. That's their specific skill. If your skill doesn't include like running an entire challenge, directing people, holding them accountable, keeping their attention, then maybe you want to do a VSL funnel where you show up one time, you read their script, and then you follow through the journey, and then they book a call, then you have one-on-one interactions with people. That's the type of funnel, depending on the personality. But there's also markets where maybe you want to do a challenge because that's the only way to shortcut all the education you got to pack in. So as an introvert, maybe you got to like, hey, I got to tap into a new type of hat. Got to put on the hat of a promoter. I got to promote this thing, right? So it just really depends on the person and their willingness to take risk and try. So yeah, long story short, like there's a ton of different funnels. I feel like all the funnels work, but it just depends on the overall strategy behind it, right? Low ticket offers, fantastic. If you have one, you're able to get a good hook and actual product and people want to buy it, scale it to the moon. I mean, there's people that are having low ticket offers that are just grabbing those low ticket offers and upselling them into another low ticket offer, which leads to a booking a call, which leads to a high ticket offer. There's a sequence of things, right? Once you're able to break even at the beginning and you bring people into your environment, it just changes the conversation on how you're going to scale.
Sounds like you like challenge funnel.
I do like challenge funnel. I've been working with challenges for like the last 6 months, and I've been launching challenges for clients, and I'm just seeing all the different things people are doing. It's like challenges is probably going to be the future for a lot of people in live events. Getting people in a room, having a conversation with them, having a one-on-one with them is going to bypass all this fake AI, fake gurus that are popping up left and right. Everybody's like, I run this, and just slap AI into it, and they're like, oh, my AI thing with whatever you're doing, but it is still the same thing. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, you actually got to know your stuff. Just because you slap AI into the title doesn't make you an expert.
With the AI content, I mean, it is very hard for you to automate challenge funnel. That's the concept, right? That's the idea.
Challenge funnels, I like them live because you have that interaction with people, and there's modified ways to run a challenge too. So for example, when a person does the live presentation for the first 10 minutes and then they cut off to a replay, right? And then you have a person that is managing the comments so that the person doesn't have to show up for every challenge. It can just be the first 10 minutes, maybe an admin or someone, that knows that. And then afterwards they play it and it looks like a real challenge that is happening live, but it's not. Or you can do the full live challenge too. But there's pros and cons to each of them. The pros of running it live is you have the interaction with the people and you handle objections or you handle their questions right on the spot. And there's all sorts of things when it comes to challenges, 3 days, 5 days, free, paid, all these things have to be accounted for.
What's your favorite in terms of, do you like free and paid, or which one do you like? And then also in terms of time frame, like, do you want to do 1 day challenge, 2 day challenge, 3 day challenge? What's a good time frame as well?
3 day challenges or 5 day? I like 3 because I feel like if you can compress all your information into 3 days, you can do it, and it makes it easy, 3 days. 5 days, even better, but you got to be able to build that conversation for 5 days. So, some people that have that capacity, power to them, then there's things that you can't talk for 5 days, so it just depends. As far as paid or free, I feel like paid is always better. A lot of times the people that, like I said earlier, show up, they actively engage. The free challenges work, but usually you got to have a VIP component after they opt in so that they pay for them and then they show up. Or within your free challenge, there's got to be like, hey, by the way, this is only available for VIP. Go ahead and grab, I'm going to drop the link, and then you continue your presentation so that you can recoup some of that traffic that you spend, that your ad traffic spend. But overall, if you had to choose between free or paid, I would pay it every time.
I run a lot of low ticket offers. I've never tried challenges. I think that'll be interesting. I might try. I don't know. It seems like a lot of work, to be honest.
Oh, it's a ton of work. It's a lot because you got to plan out every day. Every day also has to have its own email sequence. Every day has its own workbook. Every workbook is going to be different. Days like you got to cover this. You got to cover that psychological triggers from that 16-word sales letter. Every day is going to be a specific way. Everyone is different at delivering it. Some people like presentations. Some people like to draw it. Some people like actual whiteboards. There's different ways, right? And you got to adapt to the client and their delivery. So it's a very unique challenge. You get it? Unique challenge. So
Okay, that sounds good. All right, we're going to end this podcast on that. Thank you so much, Carlos, for being here. Where can people find you? How can people connect with you?
Yeah, so you can go to clientswithai.com/chat and you can book a call with me, and it's no charge. You can come in, let me know where you want to go with your business, especially if you're a coach expert that has value. You're truly bringing value to the market. Book a call. The only thing that's getting on your way is your paid ads or funnel strategy. We can talk about that. See if you qualify to become one of my clients.
That is clientswithai.com/chat. That's it for today. Thank you so much, Carlos, for being here today. We will see you on the next video.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michelle.